Perfect, and we'll get started. So welcome to this Year 5 Meet the Teacher session for this new school year. We're really pleased that so many of you could make it, because this session is really all about what to expect in Year 5 around the curriculum, what we're teaching, expectations, and practical things like homework. If you do have any questions throughout the session, please feel free just to drop them into the Q&A, and then at the end of the session, the team will be able to answer those questions for you. And I'll repeat again that we're recording this session, which means that if anyone hasn't been able to watch it and they do want to catch up on it, they can do so. Right at this point, I'm going to pass over to I'm going to get out of the camera. I'm going to pass over to the Year 5 team.
Oh, I get the comfy chair. Check me out. Hello, mummies and daddies. Very nice to have you all here. So, the staff in Year 5 this year, it's myself, Mrs. Kendall, who most of you know because I was with a lot of your kids last year, and my daughter's actually in Mrs. Dickinson's class, Mrs. Dickinson and Mr. Roberts. And then our TAs, we are very lucky to have Mr. Carlo and Mrs. Rolton and Mrs. Whiteside with us this year. They're all extremely experienced, very lovely. Yeah, very lovely.
Okay, so I'm going to talk you through the typical structure of the day. So the day does start at 8:40. And we would really like your children to be well on time, because we do start the work at that time. So we have registration and early morning work. And sometimes that early morning work is catching up with things that we need to review from the day before. So if you miss that time, it's important time. Can't stress that enough, really. After that, a typical day might start with SPAG, which is spelling and grammar, and then we move on to our English lessons. At 10:10, we have whole class reading, and again that is something that we all do together. Every child should take part in that. 10:30 most days, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we have assembly, followed by playtime. And then following that, we will come in, we'll do arithmetic and maths, and then we have lunch at 12:15. They have 1 hour for lunch, unless we're swimming on a Tuesday, so that's for Kestrels this this term. And then after lunch, we have foundation subjects, typically 2 foundation subjects, and then we finish at 3.
Excellent. Right, my turn. I'm in the camera. Hello. My turn to do expectations and things. Similar to what Mrs. Dickinson said about making sure that it's important that they're in at 8:40, because that's when things start. It's obviously important that they're in school as much as possible as well. We expect attendance to be 96% or higher. This is obviously in everyone's best interest, because the children can make as much progress as possible if they're in school. Uniform is in short, uniform is smart, named and correct, as things do go missing, and they really do. It's I suppose the downside of uniform, isn't it, is that it all looks the same, and they can't always identify what's theirs if there's not a name in it. So having their names in the back is an absolute lifesaver for us and them, and you as well, I'm sure. Earrings and other jewellery shouldn't or really mustn't be worn in school, just in the interest of keeping everyone safe and healthy and making sure no one gets hurt and stuff. So earrings especially are a big thing if we can make sure that they've got it's plastic retainers, that's the word, as opposed to actual earrings, just to make sure that no one gets hurt or injured. And in a similar vein, actually PE kit as well. So can we make sure that all the children have the correct PE kit and a water bottle, well, a water bottle every day, but the correct PE kit on PE days. They'll also need swimming kits as well. Mrs. Dickinson has said, and you'll all be aware that Kestrels are doing it this term. Our initial plan is for no, not Falcons. Who are you? You're
Eagles. We're doing it spring.
Eagles do it in the spring, and Falcons do it in the summer. If that's our initial plan. If it changes, you'll get plenty of notice. But that's roughly what we're expected to do as the year goes forward.
Oh, come on, move. Okay, so the curriculum. I mean, it's basically the same as last year. We have lots of English, which involves whole class reading, writing, spelling and grammar. It also includes the new school scheme that we bought into called Sounds Right, which we attempt to do both whole class and as an intervention for children who have gaps in their spelling or writing abilities, reading ability. We do maths following the White Rose curriculum. Science, this half term it's all about materials. Next half term it's all about space, so a lot of really exciting science happening this term. PE, PSHE, which is, you know, the old school citizenship, art, you know, next half term, we're very excited. We're going to be, I'm sure you all remember last year we did some Julius Caesar. This year we're going even gorier and we're doing Macbeth. So our art is going to be designing some stages and some sets for Macbeth, which should be good fun. Music, geography, history, RE, religious education, computing, which is a new scheme that we've just bought into called Teach Computing, which it's wonderful. I love it. DT and French. So a very broad and balanced curriculum. And that is our aim as a school, to make sure that every child gets access to that broad and balanced curriculum.
We continue to follow our school values, and just a reminder, because this is across the school, it's whole school policy, and everything is based around this. And our values are respect, determination, uniqueness, kindness, trust, and friendship. And throughout the working day, teachers and assistants are looking out for opportunities to give out values tokens for anything that they see the children doing when they are demonstrating any of our values. And also we are sending home cards, postcards, if we're recognizing that those values are being demonstrated.
I'm back again with homework. We really encourage you to make sure you read with your child on a daily basis, and that is having them read to you. Another thing we are keen to push for as well is you reading to them, because they benefit a lot if you're able to do that. And it's good to see you modeling how to read well, or modeling the things you find difficult as well and how you might overcome them if that's possible. But yeah, making sure that they read to you on a daily basis, or that they read on a daily basis, is really important. It really supports what we push in school, and it helps build those kind of understanding and comprehension skills which they need. Just because they read and sound really fluent doesn't necessarily mean that they are understanding and comprehending everything. So it's really important to practice that and build on that at home. With homework books as well, as I'm sure you've all seen by now, we send them out with the CGP books, which we aim to give out roughly on a Wednesday, and they're due back on a Monday. If there's any doubt about what's due when or what they're meant to do, they've all been given a slip and they've all stuck it in the front of their reading records, which will tell you what's due out that week, what they're meant to do, and when it's due back as well. If ever things don't go to plan and we hand things out a day late, that's happened to me once already. We'll always give them we'll give them extra time to complete it. So if we send it out a day late, we'll let them hand it in a day late as well, so they won't lose any time. We do run a homework club after school on a Thursday with the lovely Mrs. Dickinson. If you think your child might benefit from that, but we have slightly limited spaces, because if all 90 children turned up to do it, it would be intense, is probably the polite way to put it.
Crowded.
Yeah, it would be a little, yes, I don't think we could accommodate it in one room.
Yeah.
So if you think your child might benefit from that club, I have sent out some invitations already to children who we thought might benefit. But if you think your child might benefit, there are still some spaces available.
So please do ask.
Ask at the office, and we will see if we can accommodate that. And the sorts of
sorry.
reasons why you might come to homework club would be, maybe it's very busy at home, there's nowhere to sit down quietly to get on with the homework, or maybe you feel your child just needs help with a particular thing, and I'll be there to do that with them.
Right, educational visits. So our topics this year will include learning about a range of areas across the curriculum to support our studies in science, geography, and history. We're organizing visits to support learning, such as, well, actually tomorrow we're having Chertsey Museum come in. Now we had them in last year, hopefully you'll remember. They were amazing. The kids got to handle all of these artifacts and try on last year Anglo-Saxon clothing and discuss, you know, what it must have been like to live back then. It was such a great way to launch a topic. So we're very, very pleased and excited to have them again this year. We're going to Hampton Court at the end of this half term, where we've got several workshops booked. Again, it's going to be an amazing day out. I've been to Hampton Court at least like 24 times, because, you know, you live locally, you remember, but with the workshops and everything, I'm so excited. I can't wait. I bet the kids are excited as well. We're going to be going to the Globe next half term to kick off our study of Shakespeare and Macbeth. And in the summer term, we do weekly walks to the allotments. And sometimes we will need parent helpers, so please do volunteer. The only caveat to that is if you'd like to be a parent helper, you will need to see Mr. Woods in the office to get the ball rolling on it, school DBS checked, because it does have to be a specifically Groveland's DBS check. But otherwise, parents, yes, 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 we love having you come with us. Please do ask and volunteer if you are so able.
Yes, we do have some permission slips due back for those trips. So this is probably
Oh,
not
yes,
the
that's a
forum, but
good
if
shout.
they could come back, please, there are still some outstanding slips.
Quite a
Given
few,
that one is in
actually.
We
tomorrow,
can't, yes, one of the trips is one of the visit tomorrow from the Chertsey Museum is, well, it's tomorrow, and we still haven't got some of the permission slips for that. So if they could come back, please.
And then just to say, I know everything is, belts tight. I know it's hard financially for all of us. If money is a problem, please do speak to the office. We definitely need the paperwork saying they can go back, but we can definitely be flexible with
Yes, don't worry so much
about the money.
just the
If
permission
that is
slip.
a problem, please do come and speak to somebody. All right.
It's me again. So if your child has any concerns, so as a school, if your child is unhappy, we do encourage them to speak about it by discussing with a friend or talking to any member of staff that they feel able to talk to a parent or carer, or to talk to their class teacher, obviously, to write a note to any trusted adult who can then have a look at things for them. All the classrooms have a box which has "I wish my teacher knew" on it, with slips that if your child is feeling unhappy and they don't want to speak to an adult, they can write down what their issue is. They can put that into the box with their name if they want us to deal with it personally, because if we don't have a name, we can't really, we won't know who's written that problem. And then the teachers will look into that box and they'll read it and they'll be able to pick up any problems from that. If all of that fails, then speak to our phase leader or one of our senior leaders, but please come to us first if you're aware of an issue. And our middle leader is
Miss Curtin.
You've stolen my next slide,
Sorry.
which is basically just to echo what Mrs. Dickinson said. If you've got any concerns at all as a parent, then come and speak to us. That is what we're here for. We'll always do our best to try and work with you as best we can and solve it. And then we'll try and have that as an ongoing process. We'll come backwards and forwards as best as we can. If you think it hasn't been resolved, then the next step is to talk to Miss Curtin, who is our middle leader, and kind of in charge of Key Stage 2, so years 3 up Key Stage 2, isn't it? Years 5 and 6. And then if you still think it's not been resolved, the next step is a member of the senior leadership team, which is Mr. Tuck and Mrs. Common.
Or Mrs. Anning.
Or Mrs. Anning. Thank you.
Ooh, I've drawn the fun slide. Right, so safeguarding, very important. So we recognize our responsibilities for safeguarding and promoting the welfare of all children under Section 175 of the 2002 Education Act and under the Children Act of 2004, the DFE guidance Working Together to Safeguard Children 2015 and Keeping Children Safe in Education 2016 document. Now, if you have any concerns about safeguarding about any child, you can speak to any of the DSLs at school. That's Mr. Tuck, and then his assistant DSLs are Mrs. Coleman, Mr. Kempton, Mr. Singleton, Miss Curtin, and Mrs. Soul. You can contact the Center of the Safeguarding Hub at the number down there, 0300 200 1006, or the emergency duty team at you can all read the number, just go with that, or you can contact Surrey Police. And just to say, as a school, we do take safeguarding very, very seriously. So, if we have any concerns, we will also follow those steps of speaking to the school DSLs.
So additional information and support, we have our school website, which you can see the link is there. There is a parent section through which you can make payments. Parent partnership information to support home and school. You've got all the term dates there, the uniform requirements, and the meals that we offer here. There's an information section with the school calendar, our policies on SEN and pupil premium, policies and data. There's a children's section. This has class information, galleries, links to websites, and the website also contains our weekly newsletter, the school prospectus and the school handbook. So if there's anything that you're wondering about, if you go onto the website, you will be able to probably find the answer on that website. Our office staff are always available to support any further family needs. Do get in touch with them. Okay, are there any questions?
I suppose, yeah, like Mr. Tuck said, if you pop them in the chat, then we can go through them. So we've got one here that the day begins at 8:55, the doors open at 8:40, and we're trying to take a little bit like year 6 here, because we do have an awful lot to get through. Obviously, we're not going to mark anyone as not here or as late if they're there by 8:55, but you know, I'm a bit contrary to these two. I do maths first, so they come in and the arithmetic is on the board, and obviously if they can come in and be doing their arithmetic from 8:40, then there's that much earlier we can start the maths lesson. So ideally, if they can be in for 8:40, that would be wonderful. Although technically the day does begin at 8:55, but we do come in and, you know, it's not fill the space stuff that we have for them to do when they come in the classroom. It is schoolwork. Any other questions? Don't know how to make this work. All right, well, as there are no other questions, if anything does crop up, you know, we are all dismissing our children. You know how to find us. Again, please do get in touch, either email the school at the info address and they will forward things on to us, or catch us at the end of the school day. Ooh, a question. Do we have to wait for confirmation to homework club?
Yes.
Yes, you do. Just because if everybody wants a place, I said, if it's 90 children in Mrs. Dickinson's room, be a little bit crowded. But if you are interested in homework club, would it be fair to say to speak to Mrs. Dickinson at home time today?
Yes, or go to the office and they've got some letters there, which you can take a letter with a slip at the bottom. That will then come to me and I will then probably allocate a place.
Right. Ooh, how do I make this go? Ooh, more questions in the chat. Do we check their records every day for messages? I can say, I know I do, we all do. I know I missed my classes yesterday because I was given a surprise morning out to sort out some things for maths, but generally speaking, yes, we do.
For messages.
Well,
if you put something,
yes,
I check it for reading. If you were to
Yeah.
put a little note in there, because we're checking it every day, we would see it.
But obviously if it's something really important, either catch us or drop an email or something, just in case we miss it in the records, obviously. Is that fair?
I think so. Thank you. Any other questions? Should we do a little song and dance while they think of one? La 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 la.
You can do a rendition of 6.
Yeah. So long, farewell. And then they're all going to leave. And I was like, stop singing, it's dreadful. Okay, mummies and daddies. Well, I'll just an FYI, the slip set to return by the 30th. Thank you. So the slip set to return by the 30th of September. Fabulous. That does make sense.
Yeah.
Is that
But because I suppose technically we don't actually need permission to take them on when they join the school, they give permission for them to do workshops and walking visits and things.
Yeah.
So you do have time on the Hampton Court thing, but the earlier you're able to get back to us, the better. Should we sing some more for you? No. Oh. At least his mom's like, yes. So if we pay and give permission online, do you still need the slips?
yes?
Unfortunately, yes. And I as a years 5 parent myself, it winds me up to no end because you tick the little thing that says yes, and then you still get a call from the office saying, where's the slip? Yes, it is super annoying and I'm really sorry, but yeah, you do still need to send a bit of paper in. And when will we be told about hugs, clubs? I can't speak, hockey in particular. I'll tell you what I'll do is check with the people running hockey on my way back to class. And then Amy, if you come in, you know where my classroom is, right? Come and ask me at the end of the day and I will let you know. Anything else? All right, guys, well, have a lovely rest of your day and see you all at home time.
Bye.
Have my stop share. This is going to be very not elegant while I do this.
Awkward
Close.
goodbye. End meeting.